to get access to our Let's Start this presentation today. So this is very exciting because I'll be learning. Um, I'm already learning, but I will be learning again from you, Emma. I learned a lot. So I'll be learning again about this topic. So yeah, just a reminder to our attendees today. Let me see how many attendants we have. So we have 27. So yeah, just a friendly reminder to keep, to have a laser focused attention on our discussions today. So please, kindly turn off those notifications that you're actually hearing from your end by following the instructions on top on your screens right now. Okay, so I'll give you like a minute to do that, and then if you have any questions though. For our presenters today, please save that up and or post that up in our Q&A section on top of your screen. As you can see on your screen as well, the instructions on how to post those questions, and the presenters will be answering that one for you after the presentation. All right, so yep. Wow, Emma, day four of our
I know.
virtual open week. Yeah, so for today's topic, it would be an overview of EIT's undergraduate programs, which will be, of course, presented to us by our higher education manager here, Emma Hart. Let me just. Okay, that smile though.
Thanks, Marvin.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, oh, I've
you're.
appeared. I'm in red. Oh,
Yeah. All right. So that this will be presented to us by again Emma Hart, our higher education manager. Say hi to our audience today, Emma. And of
hi,
course,
everyone.
our student, of course, one of our students here, Hanini. So we'll be welcoming her in a while because she's trying to access just working on the access right now. So yep, for common questions about this presentation, I mean this webinar, a copy of your slides and video recordings will be distributed to all those who have registered today. So please expect the video or recordings, I mean the slides on the 21st of October. That would be Monday. So kindly check your junk mails as well because it usually, sometimes it goes straight there. So kindly check that out. And then, yep, a brief overview about EIT. So we are an engineering specialist. We're one of the institutions that actually specialize in engineering, right? So if you say engineering, think of EIT because we're the only ones. I mean, one of the institution, okay? Think of EIT. And of course, we offer a wide range of programs. We have our professional certificate courses, which are non-accredited. And we also have our accredited courses, which are the diploma, advanced diploma. We have undergraduate certificates, bachelor's degree, graduate certificates, and graduate diplomas. We have our master's and doctor of engineering courses. And this program are actually designed by industry experts themselves, all right? So they are actually these programs ensures that the graduates are fully equipped with what is really needed in the industry, right, Emma? They will be
Yep.
equipped with what is in there, all right? So, yep, and then our accreditation, of course, our vocational programs and higher education courses are accredited by the Australian government, and on top of that, we also have accreditation with Engineers Australia, some of our programs, okay? So that will be discussed as well later on, okay? And of course, in terms of delivery, this will be delivered by our, of course, industry expert lecturers, which we gather all around the world to provide you not only the better, but the best of what the industry is. And then, of course, we're using a unique delivery model for this one, right, Emma? Our programs are delivered using the live webinars such as this. And then, of course, using our international pool of lecturers, last mentioned earlier, we bring out the best for you. And then state-of-the-art workshops, hands-on workshops, of course, remote laboratories, and simulation softwares. So, yep, for today's topic, this will be very interesting. Okay, and of course, I will let our presenter introduce herself to us. Emma, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Marvin. Hi, everyone. So, as Marvin has said, I'm the higher education manager at here at EIT. So, I'm based in our Perth, Australia office. bit about me, my background. I'm not an engineer, so I'm just worrying on the Q&A. If there's very specifics about engineering, I may not be your girl. I'm not that engineer, but my background is actually in languages and linguistics. Some of you may hear from my accent if you know the Australian accent. This is not it. I am not Australian. I'm actually English. I've lived in Australia now for too long. I won't say because I'll give away my age. But my background then goes into teaching as well. So I have the education background. I was a language teacher for a number of years and then moved into management within education and in colleges. So my role here is currently overseeing the higher education team. So we'll talk a little bit later about the structure and the learning support officers and the administration team. And that's who I look after and working alongside the academic team who are the ones delivering your courses. So that's a little bit about me. So I will dive into it. And we do. Just before we go on, I know we'll speak a little bit later, but I just want to welcome our ambassador, our lovely ambassador, who has arrived, Hanane. So welcome and thank you for being here. And I will say it's a highlight for me in that I've emailed. I've had lots of correspondence with you, but this is the first time I think we've actually been in sort of a presentation together. So it's quite exciting for me too to actually virtually meet you and see you. So I think that's really exciting. And for you guys, obviously listening to me talk about the programs is one thing, but hearing from one of our students who's going through the program, who understands the intricate details, the ins and outs, and I think also, working as well. She's not just studying, she's got a very important job alongside everything. So being able to do both of those things together is real interesting, hearing from people who are actually doing it on the ground, because I always say I do respect that. Being able to study and work full time is extremely difficult. So she'll give you a little bit more of a background on that. So what I want to do is go through the courses that we offer within our undergraduate area. And then we'll work through a little bit of information on the support mechanisms academically, as well as the student support that we have along the way, and how the whole system works essentially. So working it from, I suppose, that lower level, we'll start with what we have as the undergraduate certificates. So you'll see there we have a range of streams of these. So we go from civil to,
Hi,
sorry.
excuse me, Emma.
Yep.
Would you be able to take control of the slides so that they can?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, it should be on there now. I've got it up there on the undergraduate certificates. Can you not see?
No.
Because
Emma,
on
it
my
still
screen,
shows that Marvin is sharing the slides. So if you
Yep.
just say take
Yeah.
control at the
Take
top.
control of the stuff. Yep.
because I
Yep.
switched across. Sorry, I
There
Exactly.
we
thought I
go.
had.
Yeah. There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
I did, and then it switched back. Thank you. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so looking at the undergraduate certificates that you should be able to see on your screen. So we have a variety of streams. So we generally have, and what you'll see for our bachelors is also the 4 main streams that we have, which is civil, electrical, industrial automation, and mechanical. But with our undergraduate certificates, we also have an additional one, which is engineering foundations. And this is for some students who aren't quite sure on the exact stream. We have a lot of students who have a background in electrical and industrial automation and aren't quite sure which way they want to be going. So the engineering foundation certificates gives you 4 core units within engineering stream that you will then be able to use ongoing. So essentially the structure is 4 units. It depends whether you wanted to study full-time, part-time, is how you complete these units. You can take, 1 a semester, 2 a semester. Some students do all 4 together. And then complete within 6 months and 1 semester. Obviously, there are many students who are working alongside of doing these courses, so they do sometimes start with 1 They may have a semester or a period of time where they aren't as busy at work, so they may decide to take 2 and so on. So it's very flexible on what you can take at which units and which semester. Okay, so it runs over 12 study weeks over a full semester as such. There are obviously breaks within there. As well. So you get study breaks and then obviously there's exam weeks, but there is obviously a period of time and you will see on there sort of the levels. So what we've got on the right, and you'll see this through all of this, the slide, the 2 slides, so we're looking at the programs of what's called the AQF qualification level. So that's the Australian qualification framework. So you can see the level that they are. The good thing about the undergraduate certificates is the 4 units that you complete in here. If you then chose to go on to complete the bachelor degree, they would be credited across. Of course, if they are part of the undergraduate degree. Now, for example, if you were doing the undergraduate certificate in civil engineering, the 4 units you would complete here all credit into the bachelor. Going into civil as well. So you're not wasting time doing these. So for anyone who's thinking maybe I should try with an undergraduate certificate first, I've been out of study maybe for a while, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't want to commit yet to a full bachelor program. So perhaps doing this, you are able to do so, but then know that what you complete in this undergraduate certificate will be credited across into the bachelor. So your 4 units that you complete would transfer as credit. So you wouldn't do the units again. You would already have completed 4 units of your bachelor degree. So a real positive thing, and I said for a lot of students who aren't sure, you're not sure about committing to a full bachelor, you're very busy, you're working as well, this may be a good start for some people. And also if you've been out of education for a while, obviously some of us have been out of education a long while, so it's getting back into it slowly without taking the full commitment for a bachelor, and that's perfectly fine. And as I said, I understand it's very difficult at times, also working alongside. So students, we have a lot of students who do this and then decide after these 4 units that they'd like to continue into the bachelor. So then they move across. Okay, and that moves us into our Bachelor of Science degrees. And so we have these online and we have these on campus. So I'll go into a little bit more detail about the online mode and how that works as well as we go through the presentation. So the undergraduate certificates are all online. We don't run those on campus, but we do run our bachelor courses on campus here in Perth. We do have other campuses within Australia, but Perth is the only one where we do actually run our bachelor courses. Our campus in Melbourne and Brisbane actually run our master's courses. So this is the only site where we would have these. Otherwise, obviously, we do them fully online. So you see there, we've got the 4 streams again. You've got civil, electrical, industrial automation, and mechanical engineering. Within this course, so you see there the number of units. So there are 25 units all up. As I said, if you had already completed an undergraduate certificate, those 4 units would come across and they would be part of your 25 units. 24 of these units are 3 credit point units, but then you find your final unit at the very end of your course is what's called the capstone engineering project, and this is worth 9 credit points. So it's quite a big project and a heavy load. So think of this as your final project, your final thesis for your bachelor, essentially. So when students are doing this online, they generally will do the final unit all on its own rather than with other accompanying units, because it is quite a heavy load. But with the number of units that you take, so for an on-campus student, or on campus, if you are an international student on campus, over the year you would complete 9 units, 5 in one semester, 4 in the next semester. If you were a domestic, an Australian student, or you had a permanent visa within Australia, that is flexible and you don't have to study full time. And for those online, again, you can take from 1 up to 5 units each semester, and each semester can be different. If you have, again, a heavy workload, there may be one semester where you choose just to do 1 unit. The next time you may find you're able to take on more, you might take 2. So the program is very flexible in allowing you to change. So you don't have to lock in a number of units at the very beginning. You will be able to change each study period according to how that works for you. For a full-time student, it is 3 years, but for part-time students, and if you're studying in and out from 1 unit to 5 units and so on, you do have up to 8 years to actually complete the qualification. Part of these degrees, which we'll look at also as we look through the rest of these slides, we'll see that we have what's called hands-on workshops and industrial experience. So our degrees are not just 25 units of sitting in a classroom learning theory. They're very practical. So we have a lot of what we call remote labs, which I'll show you shortly as we get throughout that run throughout the classes. But also we have these workshops. These are to give students a practical experience. So for some of our students, they already are working in industry. So some of you guys here may already be working as engineers or technologists or whatever the role may be. So you already have a lot of experience. And for those students, we really encourage to apply for what's called recognition of prior learning. We wouldn't expect you to come and complete workshops if you already have that experience. And we find that a lot of our online students already have that. And Hanane, as when she comes to talk to you, she'll explain, she has that work experience, so she never has to come onto site and do the workshops. So for those workshops, what we have is they run currently in our Perth campus, and we're also slowly looking at running them within our South African office as well. So we're going to be running a handful of those in the next after the next study period, and then we'll advance from there. And the aim is that we'll be able, with different sites, to be able to run these hands-on workshops, but it gives that practical component to the course. So we are not just a theory course. So we are very different to a lot of universities. It is very practical, from the units that you study to also having these workshops and the industrial experience component, where you need to show that you've worked in industry. This is helpful for students when they do complete their degree and they're applying for new jobs and upgrading. They show that they're not only do they have the theory side, but they also have a practical side, that they've been out in industry, they worked in industry, they've gone to these workshops and they have the practical experience. So they haven't just learnt in the classroom, they've learnt out on site as well. So a lot of our students, as I said, do apply for recognition of prior learning because they already have it. But for those who don't, we have those workshops. And I think we've got a picture of some of our students a little bit later and how that works. So what do we do? A little bit different again to a university. Now, for anyone who may have been to a traditional university where there are thousands upon thousands of students, and they are very theoretical, and people know that you have a student number but don't necessarily know your name. We're a little bit different. So we split up our academic side and our support side. So for every unit that you study, you'd have your lecturer that you would have as the technical lecturer who would be teaching you and going through the materials, but you'd also have what we call a learning support officer. So the learning support officer you'd have one for each of your units. So if you were studying 3 units in one semester, you will have 3 learning support officers. Now, they could be the same person, or they could be different people. Now, the purpose of a learning support officer is exactly what it says: to support you, to support your learning. They will help you through the very beginning, from when we do orientation, making sure you can access our systems, you can access the platforms, you're able to get into your classes. They'll be sending you information regarding your assessment, checking in, making sure you're okay. So for anything technical, anything specific to your class and engineering related, would go to your lecturer, but everything else and any assistance you need would come through your learning support officer. So I often say it's like having your own little personal assistant for each of your units, and they are there to support you. Again, we understand with people, everyone has a busy life and people are working. So for example, you may have an assessment, but perhaps you have to go and work away and you're going to be away working for 2 weeks. Your learning support officer is the person you would speak to discuss that, and they would work with you on how that would change and what that would look like. So you always have someone who is that point of call, that you can contact them at any point. Now, we have learning services around the world. So we have a lot within Australia, but we also have our team in South Africa as well. And we're looking also at bringing on our learning support officers further around, and looking at, having them in the UK, in the US, so that there is a full coverage. So when you need help, there's somebody around to be able to help you. So they will make sure that you understand everything. So at any point in time, if you couldn't get into your lectures or you didn't understand some instructions or what you needed to do, all you do is you can either email them, you can call them, and they will help you through whatever it is you need. And everybody has different situations, and so the learning support officer is trained to work with all of your different situations and to help wherever needed. So you would have one for every single unit. So you don't have one attached to you through the course. Each unit that you study will have a learning support officer dedicated to that specific unit and to the students within that unit. So in addition to the learning support officers, we also have what's student support services. So not just on your learning and on your Moodle sites that we use and making sure you can access all the materials and know your assessments. We have a support team that also look at helping you to succeed in all areas. So we run a variety of student success workshops, both on campus and for online students in a variety of areas. So there's a lot in health and well-being. So, sometimes students are having a difficult time. They're struggling personally. So we run sessions, but we also are able, our student support team are also able to work with you and see where you're struggling, where you need help, and they can reach out to different organizations and get you involved and really look at supporting you. We also have academic workshops. So if, for example, you have a report coming up and you have never written a report or you haven't done one for a long time, there are regular sessions that will run that will help you on how to do that. So when you get to your assessment, you know how that works, how you're able to write it. So you don't have to worry thinking, I haven't done this, or I haven't been in education for a long time. What do I do? How do I do it? Those sessions are there to help you. Time management, another example, students who again have been out of education for a long time may need help on managing their time and being able to complete things. We also have what's called, you'll see, the IEEE English for Technical Professionals. So this is a technical English course. And for anybody sitting thinking, oh, I can speak English, why are they making me do a course? This is also a helpful course for students who are about to study engineering. It has been able to do presentations. It has, been able to look at white papers and understand them. It gives you writing techniques to be able to help with, able to write reports as well. So it's there for a purpose. It's not there to scare people. It's not there to give people more work to do. It is there to support. And when, if you came on the program, you would see that there are specific modules dedicated to specific areas that you could work through that would help you and benefit you in being able to complete your assignments. So just a few of the services that we have and we provide. So again, that's for our on-campus, but also for our online students. Everything that we are offering for our on-campus students, we want to be able to offer fully to our online cohort as well, because there are a lot. So just some of the software that you would be using, and this is why we fully support you and your learning support officer is there. So we have Moodle, and that's where you have all of your unit materials, your assessments, your grades will be all through there. We have what's called Big Blue Button. It's a little bit like Teams that we're on now, and that's where your live webinars would happen. So your lecturer would be presenting just like I am, and you'd all be able to interact, and you'd see all your tutorial slides on those. We also have what's called IRIS. It's our invigilation system. So we do have exams in our bachelor program, and so in order for you to be able to sit your exams, obviously we wouldn't make you go somewhere so you sit and do it in the traditional sense. We have invigilation software that will essentially watch you while you are doing your assessment to make sure there's nothing strange going on. We have remote labs as well. So as for our online students who aren't able to be here in campus on our labs, you're able to log in remotely to our labs. So a lot of your courses you will find at specific times, your lecturers will tell you that we're using a specific software and you need to go and do this specific lab. We're not saying you need to fly into Perth. You're able to log in remotely and complete these. Obviously, we have Microsoft Office, so you'll get an EIT email account, Word, Excel for you to be able to use and do your assessments. And then we have what's called our student management system, and this is where you'd find payment information, what you're enrolled in next, your invoices, that type of thing. So a whole range of systems that you would use, and where your learning support team would help you through and make sure at orientation that you're able to access all of these, that you understand how they work, and that you're able to reach out if for some reason something doesn't work or you're not sure. Your learning support officer is there to support you. So as I mentioned earlier, we have that practical learning component, and the picture here is actually here in Perth, and it's our civil engineering students doing their concreting activity. So for those practical aspects, as I said, these are obviously a lot of our on-campus students do it, but we often find a lot of our online students will come into Perth and are able then to do these hands-on workshops and actually get a practical component as well. And as I mentioned, we have the remote labs. So again, you're doing it remotely from home. However, you'll be able to access the labs through there. So again, you don't have to fly into Perth to do that. You're able to access them all, but you still get that practical component. I know I did one recently. I did one of the electrical ones, and I think I failed 3 times. I got electrocuted numerous times, so I'm pleased it wasn't actually a live one, thank goodness. But they're really useful and give you that hands-on experience so you understand. Okay, so as I've mentioned, these are the labs. So you'll see on some of the images here, they are very specific to the area. So your lecturers in your classes would be saying to you, hey, as part of your assessment, you need to complete this lab. You'd be able to book. So there is a booking system. You'll be able to go in. You'll be able to book a lab, and then at that time slot, it's all yours to be working through. So again, very similar to what you would do in person, you're just doing it online. So some real excellent software that we have so that we can still give online students that practical component and that it's not just all theory based. So just with regards to entry requirements, so I mean there are millions of them, and you guys are from all over the world. So on our website, you'd be able to click on your specific country and find out exactly the entry requirements from your country and your qualifications in. The same with regards to the fees. All of that information is listed on the website for you to have a look at. So rather than me showing and going through, the website is there, and obviously we can send it as well. So you can have a look through, look at the specific course you may be interested in, and then you'd see, you'd be able to drop down from your country on what the fees would be and what those entry requirements would be. We also have a variety of partial scholarships that we do offer. There's a range of these, and I do believe she's been our Woman in Engineering scholarship winner for a number of times, which is amazing. But that gives you a bit more information on what scholarships we have available and how you'd be able to apply for those. So there's a range depending on the course and your situation as well. So you could have a look through those. So when we mentioned our lecturers earlier, I think Marvin mentioned this at the very beginning. We have lecturers from around the globe, and this is just obviously a handful. This is not all of our lecturers. There's not just these guys, but they're located everywhere, the same as you guys are. So you may find that, as you log into your live webinar and you may be based in South Africa, all of a sudden your lecturer is dialed in from Brazil, or somewhere in Europe, or somewhere in South Asia, or North Asia, or within Australia. So we have our lecturers who are experts in their field from around the globe. And the good thing with our lecturers is they're not just academics. They're not just lecturers. All of our lecturers have industry experience. So they are telling you firsthand how things work and how it applies to the theory. So you're not just listening to the theory. Our lecturers can explain in a specific work situation how that would apply. So you find, and there's a range of these lecturers from around the world which have amazing amounts of industry experience, which a lot of universities don't have. You'll find there are a lot of academics, of course, at the university, but they don't have the industry experience. I know, and I'll use an example on this one. If you see on the screen at the top there, you see Hardy Harb. Hardy's actually based in Barcelona, and he's a huge hit with a lot of our students. He streams in, he does a lot of our online classes. He also does online classes for our on-campus students, and they love him too. But Hardy also runs his own business, and Hardy has worked in the industry for a long, long time. So every piece of theory he gives you, he's able to then apply it to something technical and put it back into industry, so you understand the purpose behind it. So I've called him out because he's a real star in the higher education team, and I know he also works in our vocational area as well. So he teaches a lot. I often say if we want anyone to do a time management workshop, I think Hardy should do it, because how he fits everything into his day, I'm not quite sure, but real great experience and a real benefit to our students. So yeah, you would find going into your live webinars, your lecturer could be from anywhere in the world. So it's quite exciting to hear that experience from around the world. So it's not just within Australia, it is everywhere. Academic support as well. So I mentioned this briefly earlier, but we, in addition to our student services and our academic workshops, we have the academic support. So your lecturers are also there to help you. So while your learning support officer is supporting fully on the administration side and making sure you know what you're doing and how everything works, your lecturers are there to look after the technical side, to answer your questions, to help you where needed. If you find that you're not quite understanding something and you need a little bit of extra help, for example, then you are able to contact your lecturer or contact your learning support officer, who could talk to your lecturer and organise extra sessions and times for you to meet. So they are there with our course coordinators who look after each specific program to really support you and give you academic guidance throughout your studies. So they are always there. Our classes are generally very small. We try to keep them as small as possible so that when you're in your live webinar like this one, you're actually able to communicate well. So you're not in a class of 500 people, and if you've got a question it doesn't get answered. The classes will be small so that if you do have a question in your live webinar, you can ask that. You put your hand up in the webinar like some of you guys were doing earlier, or your thumbs up, and your lecturer can come to you and give you the time to answer that question. So we try to keep as small as possible so that you are able to get that full academic support. And we all know studying online is difficult. I've done it myself, and it's challenging. and it's challenging to keep motivated. So it is really good to, keep, I suppose, putting your hand up in these lectures, asking for help, asking for support, and your lecturers and the team are always there to help you with this. So I think you've heard probably enough from me. I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to pass over to our lovely ambassador, Hanane, and she, as I said, I'm excited because the first time I actually get to see her in person, even though she's on the other side of the world, I do believe. But it's really lovely to see her. So I believe you can now take control, and yeah, you can off you go, give them your experience, a little bit different to mine.
Hanine, you're on mute.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yes, now you can hear me, right? Am I audible?
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Emma. Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for having me a part of this big event. It's a great privilege to be here. So let me introduce myself and share a bit about my background. My name is Hanane. I'm an electrical engineer with over 10 years of work experience in the electrical engineering industry. I have been awarded for the fourth time in a row the EIT Women in Engineering Scholarship for the highest academic performance, high distinction in each course, and I have been recognized as a LinkedIn top voice in electrical engineering, electrical design, and system designs. And I feel deeply honored and grateful for these recognitions. I'm passionate about engineering and education. Next slide, please. Also, I am a holder of a university technology diploma in electrical engineering from the Higher School of Technology in Morocco. And at the beginning of year 2022, I joined EIT, and I have been a full-time student since then, doing a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. I'm currently in my last semester doing my final year project, so I will graduate soon. And then I won't stop here. I'm still going for my Master of Engineering in Electrical Systems in just like few weeks after I complete my Bachelor's always at EIT. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. So I know you guys here today because you are passionate about engineering and you are interested in pursuing your studies at EIT. That's why I'm happy to share my experience at EIT with you all. So let's jump to it. When we hear about EIT, we are typically referring to education and specifically to engineering education. That's why I wanted to share an inspiring quote from the American inventor and philosopher Benjamin Franklin. The education is the investment with the greatest return, and that's absolutely true. We're gonna go through like into details regarding that inspiring quote throughout the presentation, so stay tuned. Okay. Some of you may be curious, and to be curious in engineering field in general is very important. Maybe curious about how come, why did they choose this field in the first place as a female engineer, because it's a traditionally male-dominated industry. So, well, since my childhood, I have been fascinated by technology, science, physics. I remember I was asking my dad, because he was in the mechanical engineering field, about how does the car work? How does the fridge work? I was asking questions about various electronic devices. So when I went to high school, I knew for sure this is my passion and this is the career that I go for. And fair enough, I have been in the electrical engineering field since then. So coming back to this question, my experience studying electrical engineering. Well, studying electrical engineering can be very challenging. To be honest, it is challenging. It is tough, but it's a worthwhile degree. It's a rewarding career. It's a fulfilling journey of intellectual growth and practical application. It's a field that involves a deep dive into electricity, obviously, electronics, physics, mathematics. It's a very important element as it enhances our like critical thinking, which is very essential in engineering field. And yeah, and what I love about electrical engineering course that it's a versatile field. So you can work in different areas. You can work in engineering, you can work in oil and gas, you can work in telecommunications, you can work in federal government, you can work, for example, especially now that we are in the era of energy transition. So you can work in renewable energy technologies, you can work in the like with the smart grid, microgrids, and also that's because we are in the era of artificial intelligence and machine learning, you can also work there. That's what I love about electrical engineering. And if you think about it, it makes sense because in this physical world, everything in order to work and operate needs power. So that's what I love about electrical engineering, and I highly recommend this course. Next slide, please. So, well, it has been an amazing journey. It has been a very interesting and interesting experience, mixed with challenges and rewards. To be honest with you, before I joined EIT, as a holder of a university technology diploma in electrical engineering, and as an experienced electrical engineer, my expectations were high. But now I must confess that EIT really exceeded my expectations. And now I have a question for the prospective students. You don't have guys to answer now. I just want you to reflect on this question and think about it. Have you ever asked yourself why it's challenging and tough to find a good university that can provide online engineering programs? Because I had been there. Well, the answer is simple, because it's a very challenging field. It's a rapidly evolving area of education. So it's very tough to make that whole transformation from on-campus learning to online education. However, I must admit that AIT made it possible and made that transformation not only successful but efficient. But because I have been with EIT for 3 years now, a full-time student, to me, there are many factors that played an important role in this successful transformation. Well, first of all, EIT accessible industry-relevant engineering programs, like globally, like from different parts of the world, meaning that you can access EIT online platform, whether you are in North America, US or Canada, whether you are in Middle East, Asia, Europe, Africa, and obviously Australia. And this is a huge deal. Second of all, the lectures are awesome. The lectures are highly skilled, highly experts. So they teach you the practical knowledge. So you can, so for example, if you visit EIT website and you go to program structure, you will see that it's well designed. You can tell it's designed by industry experts, professionals, and also what I noticed, it's like the unit's contents are well aligned with the latest industry trends. And also there is something else. It's like the full access and the unlimited access to their remote labs. So you get to get that practical knowledge, and also you get to gain that hands-on and practical, practical experience, which is very important in the engineering field. So for example, in electrical engineering, you will find you will have unlimited access to the widely used advanced software, like for electrical engineering, you have MATLAB Simulink, which is very important. You have ETAP, you have Easy Power, you have Power Factory, Dixilent, you have LTSpice, you have PaceCAD, and also you have electrical design drawing softwares like SolidWorks and AutoCAD. And this is like it will like it plays an important role to perform you as a professional engineer, as a good engineer. Also, in addition to that, the academic team, including the course advisors and LSOs, learning support officers. And Emma, yeah, she covered that pretty well. So the LSOs, to me, I consider them the backbone of EIT. The reason why, because as an online student, you need support. So they are very supportive, very responsive. They guide you from zero to hero, meaning they guide you from the onboarding process all the way to graduation. So you can feel that they just want you to succeed. They just want you to perform well. They just want you to perform your mission as a student very well. Yeah. So I'm very pleased and very amazed by EIT, and that's the reason why that's why I'm continuing with my studies and I'm going for my master's. Yeah. So next slide, please. Yeah. So adding to this, with the EIT, yeah, what I admire about EIT, that they are committed to supporting female engineering students and encouraging them to pursue their career in the engineering industry. So that's why I want to extend my gratitude to EIT for being like awarded for the fourth time in a row the EIT Women in Engineering Scholarship. That was something very. It's a great privilege to be acknowledged for your hard work. And also, there is something else. That's what I love about EIT, is that it's like all in one. You can start with your, for example, let's say you are not sure about which field you can go with, you know, either electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil and structural engineering, industrial automation. So you can start with the certificates, like 3-month certificates, and then when you find your passion, when you decide like which path you can go with, then you can go for advanced diploma. And then once you get the advanced diploma, it's a pretty good diploma. You can go and get a good job, which is, I guarantee that you will find it. And then you can always go back to EIT and pursue your studies, do your bachelor's degree, and then you can do master's degree, and then even you can go for a doctor of engineering. So it's a very flexible and supportive program. So yeah. Any specific highlights? The highlights that I want to mention here. So because all of the factors that played an important role in making that transformation from on-campus learning to an online platform was like successful, that explained clearly why EIT is internationally recognized and internationally accredited. And trust me, that accreditation is very important in the engineering field. Because remember, in engineering, you work with engineering projects that require compliance with standards. Like standards, we have international standards and we have national standards. International standards, like mostly like known, we have IEEE, we have IEC. For national standards, like for me, in my case, like North America, there is like NEC, which is National Electrical Code, and there is CSA. So yeah, another highlight. So at EIT, so for example, like for you as an online student, you may feel that you will feel isolated. But that's not the case. At EIT, you will feel more connected to the entire world. You will extend your networking globally. And the reason why, because you get to meet lecturers from different parts of the world, you get to meet students from different parts of the world, and also the academic team. And so you get to expand your networking, which is very important, and also you get to acquire new perspectives in life, which is important. Another highlight that yeah, that's EIT. EIT like high quality resources, high quality industry relevant engineering programs, support and flexibility makes your journey not only manageable and rewarding, but also enjoyable. Uh, the reason why I say enjoyable, because they provide a seamless integration between your engineering life and between your personal life. So what I mean by integration, it's more like it's much deeper and more efficient than work-life balance, because like at EIT, so you can access their online platform anywhere, whether you are at work, whether you are on vacation, whether you are home, you work from home. So that's why I'm talking about a seamless integration. It's like you integrate two lives, like engineering life, which I mean study, work, career, and personal life, which is family, kids. You can integrate them in one, which is very efficient. Another highlights that I want to mention is that at EIT, you don't only acquire and enhance your technical skills, also you get to enhance and acquire interpersonal skills, which are very critical in our personality and how we react to how to react in general. So you get to be so for example, in my case, I feel now more confident. I feel more committed. I'm addicted to lifelong learning, which is a very important skill in engineering, because as I said, it's a rapidly evolving area of education. It's a rapidly evolving field in general. So you have always to keep up. You have always to to be passionate about learning. You do your continuous learning. And this is, I find, is very, very important. And also you get you build like a mindset, like a resilient mindset. And yeah, and you improve your self-belief. Yeah, for me, it plays an important role to improve and enhance my interpersonal skills. So another highlight, as I already mentioned, that I'm starting my Master of Engineering in Electrical System, always at EIT, in January 25. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, and fair enough. Just I wanna mention something. So because EIT, as I said, they made that transformation successful and efficient from an on-campus learning to online learning. That's why just recently they have won the award of excellence. That just shows that they are always committed in providing and delivering a high quality engineering education. So for recommendation, um, here for recommendation, I would like to share a personal story that some of you may resonate with it, maybe are or they have been in the same situation. And then you guys will get the answer by then. Um, I already mentioned I completed my I already hold a university technology diploma in electrical engineering, and that was back in 2004. Since then, I have always wanted to pursue my studies. I always wanted to complete my bachelor's degree. But life had other plans for me. So I got carried away with life. I mean, work and then immigration to Canada, different language, different culture, different weather, and then marriage life, and then being a mom of two young kids. So I got tied up with other things. And but I always wanted to continue my studies. I always wanted to pursue my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. And but I got tied up with professional commitment, personal commitment, and especially when you are a mom. Um, and as I mentioned, it's very challenging to find a good university that can provide a high quality industry relevant engineering programs until I came across EIT. And now I'm proud to say that after 20 years, that I never gave up. I never lost hope. Um, um, I never lost hope. So I will be earning my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering just in few weeks. And yeah, so and that's why I'm so grateful for EIT flexibility, support, and high quality resources that made my dream come true finally. So now I'm sure, I'm confident that you know the answer. So I certainly do. You guys, if you are considering pursuing an engineering degree at EIT, I highly recommend it, because with EIT flexibility, support, and high quality resources, you guys will be in good hands. And not only that, it will also make your journey manageable and rewarding. So what I can say now, thank you, guys, for attending. Thank you, Emma. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. And special thanks to EIT, including all my amazing lecturers, friends, and colleagues for making my journey manageable and rewarding.
All right. Thank you so much for that very inspirational message to us and very inspiring story, Hanini. Really, you really encourage our audience today to, get in touch with us and know more about, our courses. And of course, thank you, Emma. Thank you so much for that information. Now, me myself as well, I was able to learn new things as well on how we can actually offer our courses to our potential students. So right now we have our Q&A sessions. I believe we have a few questions here on the top. Let me see. Oh yeah, you've answered this one already, am I right? So is there scholarship for foreign students?
Yeah, so as I said in there, there's a variety of scholarships. If you go to our website, like for example, Hanane
Mhm.
was just saying she's the Women in Engineering, but there's a whole range of different ones depending on your circumstances and your specialization as well. So I'd suggest having a look there. Gives you more
Mhm.
details. I could be here for the next 2 hours telling you, but there's easier.
Yes. Yep. And then, of course, contact your course advisor so that they can actually assist you with more information as well, or assist you with the process as well. Okay, and yep, another question here, Emma. I'm not sure if you, but this is just a concern. If one's background is biomedical engineering, how does EIT help transition to civil engineering? And does
Yeah,
one have
again,
to begin afresh?
It's worth, again, getting in touch with us and with the course advisor, because then what we can do is talk to our academic team. I suppose it's hard to answer because we'd need to know more about your background, specifically what you've done and how that could then lead across. So definitely, again, if you get in contact with one of the course advisors, we can work with the academic team and see exactly what that fit is, but hard to answer without knowing the exact details, but depending on the background
Exactly.
is a possibility. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to start fresh.
That's true. That's true. And for our online applications as well, you don't have to worry because we don't ask for any fee. So you can just submit your application and then we can have a look on that one. All right. So, yep. Yeah, we have another question here, Emma. Let's see. I'm studying advanced diploma in plant engineering. Does this give me any credits in mechanical engineering? So yeah, I'm just wondering if you're referring to the undergraduate or the bachelor or not quite sure. So what
Okay, studying
yep.
advanced diploma in plant engineering.
Mm,
It does depend. We do have
undergraduate.
obviously, yeah, we've got obviously credits from specific advanced diplomas. Again, we'd look at that specifically on exactly what you're studying and what credit that comes across. So if it's one of our advanced
Mm-hmm.
diplomas, generally there is credit, but again, just depends. We'd have to look specifically of which one, but we do give credit from our advanced diplomas going into our
Towards.
bachelor degrees, we do give credit. Each one is different depending on the specialization, but credit is available. So we could look at that.
All right. So thanks, Emma. Yep. I think that's. Do we have any other questions here from our audience? Please feel free to post it in on the Q&A section. Yeah, I have one here. Do you have application fee? I'm from Kenya and you seem very expensive. I would like to do bachelor with you guys. Oh, Emma.
Sorry,
Yep,
what was that one?
he
I
was
missed.
actually asking, yeah. Do you have a application fee? I believe he's from Kenya, and you seem very expensive. And I would like to do bachelor degree with you guys.
Oh, well, I'd probably say, I think on the expense side, if
Yeah,
you look around, we're
around
probably one of the least
exa
expensive on
exactly.
that. Now, I don't want to cut everyone short and be
Yep,
rude.
yep.
I've got another session. I've got to do it again for our
Mm-hmm,
postgraduate program, so I've got to jump into that one.
mm-hmm.
But please, obviously, any other questions,
Yes, that's true.
and Marvin, you can feed them across
Mm-hmm.
to me, and we can definitely answer those. But
Yeah,
thank you
definitely. I'll
so
be
much,
posting.
everybody.
Thank you so much, Emma. I'll be posting the email address as well, where you can send your inquiries, and we'll be happy to assist you with that. Again, thank you so much, Emma and Hanini, for that presentation. And yep, I think that's it for today. For any questions, again, I'll be posting the information on your screens. Thank you so much, and I think that's it. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.